Hey everyone, this is Steve Krause. I'm coming to you today, unusually from my office actually, up at Eastern Michigan. I'm not at my basement. I decided to come up to campus to do some things. I want to give everybody a little bit of an update about where we're at right now. I just handed back on Monday the Invention and Technology projects. My apologies for being so late with these things. It's been one thing after another around here. But everyone now has a grade. They have comments. I embedded the comments on the essay within Microsoft Word. So if you're having some sort of issue seeing my comments, let me know. If you have a regular version of Microsoft Word, it shouldn't be any problem at all. It was kind of a mixed batch. There was some different, some things were better than others, but there's a couple of things I want to talk about to go over here. Just as you know, it's a way of sort of global feedback for everyone. One is go back and if you get a chance and take a look at the little movie that I made that was on the Invent Your Own Technology assignment. It's at the bottom of that page in the EMU online course shell. But just to sort of like remind people of some of the highlights of what I thought of to be the 6 basic tips for writing well. Number one, write an essay that is not just for the teacher, that reaches beyond the class. And this is the point of a lot of the comments that I made on people's projects where I said, if somebody read this sentence, because a lot of times students would have a sentence in their essay that said, the assignment told us to do this, or the readings were really interesting, or something like that. And what I would write as a comment would be something along the lines of, if somebody read this sentence from outside the class, would that sentence make any sense? And what I'm trying to push you to do is I'm trying to push you to write projects and essays that go out there, go out beyond the class itself, so that if the essay were actually found on a street corner someplace, could somebody pick it up and read it and have it make sense? If it says stuff like the assignment or the readings, probably not. So don't just write for the teacher, write for an audience beyond the class, beyond our immediate environment. The next tip was write an essay that has a point and that doesn't just answer a question, because I'm giving you these assignments as a prompt for you to start someplace to write an essay, which is something that stands on its own as a piece of writing. I'm not asking you to complete an essay test, the kind of thing where I ask you a question and then you're supposed to write a particular response. That's not the way this is supposed to work. So see the assignments as a starting point where you can write an essay that lives and breathes and stands on its own. It's like a real piece of writing in the world. When it comes to sentence level thing, always know what the subjects and the verbs are. I think that William's advice on that is really, really solid, and hopefully that'll work into the style essay for many of you. Know the main points of your paragraphs. Remember, a paragraph should have a point. It shouldn't have a whole bunch of different points, and it shouldn't wander all about. And be sure to read and reread your writing before you hand it in, and be willing to revise, because that's how everybody gets better as writers, by making choices about making better essays. Now, I work from the assumption in my comments that everybody is potentially willing and able to revise. And let me explain, and if you look at the syllabus, I explain there in some detail how the revision process works. But let me explain once again briefly how that works here. First, you can revise all of the 4 major writing projects, any one of them or all of them if you want. Second, you only get one chance to revise each one, so you can't keep tweaking it. You have to sort of settle on one final revision. Third, that revision's due at the end of the term. So in other words, we have plenty of time to talk about a revision of this essay if you want to go there with this. I guess this would be fourth, yeah. In order to revise one of these projects, you need to you need to meet with me. And I should put that in quotes, because since it's an online class, how that meeting will take place is going to depend on where you're at. If you're the easiest way to do it, of course, is to meet physically. So if you're on campus or can be on campus for a time that works for both of us, then that would be the easiest way to do it. The next easiest way to do it is probably by phone, because I think that a phone meeting can actually accomplish a lot of the same things that you can accomplish face to face. So if there's some way that we can set up a phone meeting, that would be great too. The third option, if phones doesn't work out because of various scheduling issues and things like that, is some sort of email correspondence. But be advised that that takes a little bit while longer. So, but we have to have some sort of connection with each other about what kind of revision you want to do. It's not just an issue of I'm just going to fix the essay and make it better. What I want to know is what sort of changes do you have in mind based on my comments and based on your own thinking about it. And the last piece of advice I have here is revise strategically. You want to, I know that everybody wants to revise things to write better essays because that's what good writers want to do. But the question really then kind of becomes, for our purposes here, what's it worth to you to revise something in terms of the grade? So in other words, if you're, and that's why it's better to wait until a little bit later on in the semester to make decisions about revisions. If you're kind of on the edge, if you're sort of on the bubble between, say, an A and a B or a B and a C or something like that, and that matters to you in terms of the grade that you get, then it probably does make sense to revise some of the lower graded essays to push your grade up a little bit. But if you're right in the middle of a grade, so like in terms of points, you have exactly a B, and everything, and all your essays are basically in that B range, revision might not make that much difference in terms of your overall grade. And of course, you also have to weigh these things based on how much time you have, what else is going on in your life, and things like that. So that's how the revision process works. Let me talk just for a second about the wiki. It would appear that so far things are moving along with that pretty smoothly. I have rearranged a few things in some places on the wiki to reflect where essays go and where style rules go. Remember, the rules are supposed to be limited to 150 words, so if your rule's longer than that, you need to edit it down. And then also remember that that when it comes to for the peer review process, each of you will comment on 5 essays from other people's essays. They can be for people in our, you should have a mix actually of people in the section that you're in and people in the other section that I'm teaching online this term. If you go to someone's essay and there are more than 5 people who have commented on that essay, go to a different one. Okay, the idea is to spread around the peer review process, and we'll see how that goes. I think that's it for now. What I'm going to be doing this week is updating the EMU online site so to reflect the next unit that's coming up after the break, which is the visual rhetoric unit. And I'm also going to be, of course, checking in with the wiki site through the course of the week. Oh, there is one more thing I forgot. By Friday of this week, you need to email me your participation grade for the first half of the semester. It's a very, very brief email. It only needs to be about 250 words tops, probably between 150 and 250 words, in which you basically describe, this is the grade I think I ought to get for participation for the first part of the semester, and this is why. I will take that into consideration as I look through the material that's up on EMU Online for the participation part of the grade, and we'll have some sort of conversation with each other about this. If you want to remember what's part of the participation grade, go back and look at the syllabus, because I think I spell that out pretty clearly there. It involves, and the participation involves talking, essentially participating in group things on the EMU Online site, on the wiki, doing peer review, responding to readings, things like that. The blogs are a different category, that's a different grade. The essays are a different category, that's a different grade. I'm just talking about just the participation grade. Okay, now that really is it for now. So get to work on the style essays. I'll see you on the wiki, and I'll see you online.